communication and students will be expected to demonstrate their effective communication and collaboration skills by actively participating in group projects, engaging in respectful and constructive discussions, and contributing to the successful completion of team goals. Okay. So, as I said before, you'll be expected to engage in group projects, group presentation, group work, and in the course of our interactions, we should demonstrate respectful and constructive discussions, constructive critiques, and contribute to the successful completion of team goals. This will call for a lot in terms of humility, discipline, and sacrifice. We talked about this before, right? Hello?
Yes, you are picking, Doctor.
Yes, I'm asking, did we talk about the three kind of pillars in graduate studies? Humility, discipline, and sacrifice.
Yeah, you mentioned, Dr. Mulinda mentioned about it also.
Yes. So to achieve these learning outcomes, you have to factor in those three values. Short of that, it becomes difficult. As you notice, it's quite an amount of effort that is required to be able to pull through and bring all that together. So you must exercise that humility, the discipline, and sacrifice in order to accomplish the goals that are set here now. Any question that far?
We have this lower secondary curriculum, which is been enrolled 3 years ago. I don't know whether it's in line with the new curriculum or it was also enrolled in the university. Just inquiring.
Yeah, could you repeat your question? I think
we have the new curriculum,
yes, please.
New lower secondary curriculum, which was enrolled 3 years ago. Yes. I don't know whether it was also enrolled in the universities.
Enrolled?
Yeah.
What do you mean by enrolled?
What you have been talking about here, because I've been talking about demonstrating creativity, innovation, learning outcome, and all the things.
Samuel, I still don't really connect that with the lower secondary school curriculum at the university.
Now, of course, the training we get from the universities before we go down to deliver. They have been taking teachers through to how to handle the lower secondary curriculum training. The training have been going on for the last 3 years. So what I don't know whether it was taken at the university that what we learned in the university is in line with what is the new curriculum, which was enrolled.
Okay, I get your question now. Yes, much of what we shall be talking about will be in line with the new secondary school curriculum, new lower secondary school curriculum. I hope that answers your question.
Yes,
Doctor. We shall go beyond that.
Okay.
And not be confined to just the new lower secondary school curriculum. We'll be exploring different learning experiences in different parts of the world.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If there is no other question, I would like to continue. I'm only going through the course outline for the Foundations of Curriculum Studies course unit. So in terms of the course content, this is what we have. Unit 1 would be an introduction. I'll be looking at syllabus versus curriculum and trying to understand the broad context of curriculum design and planning. Unit 2 will look at objectives, learning outcomes, content, teaching and learning patterns and models, assessment, and references as components of the curriculum. Therein is also stages of curriculum development, curriculum implementation, and then student assessment. Unit 3 focuses on strategies and models. Here we look at different curriculum models and then classic and contemporary curriculum theorists. Unit 4 focuses on different and contemporary models of assessment. We'll look at key stakeholders and their roles, and then curriculum monitoring and evaluation. And Unit 5 will focus on methods of monitoring. And we'll look at involvement of stakeholders, use of questionnaires, focus groups, different fora, meetings, interviews, student assessment, and reports. How will this be done? And that is the mode of delivery. We'll have online classes, we'll have a blended mode, lecture, discussion, practical work, debates, case studies, analysis of scholarly articles, group presentations, and critical incidents. Then we'll also have, we'll use online delivery tools like Zoom. We're already using Zoom. Of course, your work will be on Moodle, so you must have the university email in order to access Moodle, which would have the different resources, different assignments, and this course content we are dwelling on right now. We'll use Google Meet, Google Classroom where necessary, Padlet, Mentimeter, Google Forms, Monkey Surveys, and Socratic Forms. In terms of assessment, there are two kinds of assessment done at Uganda Martyrs University. You have one continuous assessment, and the pass mark is 60%. This is assessed through class participation, individual assignments, and group projects. So endeavor to score at least 60%. Then you would have qualified to sit the final examination. If you don't make 60%, then you don't qualify to sit the final examination. Okay. And when we say it's assessed through class participation, then you are aware about the importance of individual attendance. You must be present in class because even your presence itself is assessed. You must submit your assignments, whether individual assignments or group projects. And you must participate in the group projects. You won't have your name attached to the group when you haven't done the work. Okay. The other mode of assessment is final assessment, which should also be passed by at least 60%. And this is assessed through examination. It's a written examination. So the continuous and final assessment are each passed independently. You don't score a 99% in continuous assessment and then a 30% in final assessment. They won't balance. So make sure you have a 60% in each of them. Okay. And you have a number of references there. Different kinds of sources. Exploring different concepts from different learning situations and geographical environments. So we'll be learning a lot from how others are doing it as we try to understand more about curriculum issues. Any question on the course outline?
I think we can continue. You know, people get quiet, which means they don't have questions.
Sometimes it means that, other times it may mean I've made no impression at all. So
my interest, this the decade of Gracious.
Yes, please.
My interest is in a request if this course outline can be shared on the WhatsApp group.
Of course, not on the WhatsApp group, but on the Google, on the Moodle platform, you'll have it there.
Okay, that will be better. Thank you.
All these documents will be shared on the Moodle platform.
All right, please.
Okay.
Doctor.
Yes, please.
I wanted to inquire. Is it
Yes,
true
please.
we can enroll us on the Moodle platform?
I'll say that again.
Is it true we can enroll us on the Moodle platform?
I am not picking some of your words. Speak closer to the device, please.
Is it you who is going to enroll us to the Moodle system?
Oh, yes. The
Okay.
facilitator will do that. Well, sometimes facilitators ask the students to do that, but I will enroll you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Kevin, you made it today.
Hi, Doctor. This is Doreen.
Yes, please.
Because some of us are really new to the university and the Moodle thing. Is it possible you request all the lecturers to just add us to Moodle? Because we are around 13. They can easily follow up or something. Or the university adds us, because some people have the units, other people don't have units, and yet we have university emails. So is it possible you give a list to every lecturer who teaches us and make sure that we are all added to Moodle, especially if we have the university emails?
Now we are different. That's why I said I will add you. I don't know how others choose to do it. So different lecturers perhaps want to pose a challenge to you right from the start, that you learn even how to enroll yourself on these electronic devices through the electronic system. So could you raise it with them in class?
Okay.
We can raise it in class and we will raise our concern. Then they can just enroll us on the Moodle to raise our concern.
Oh. Okay, have you tried and failed?
But some of us, we are seeing it maybe to some of the few people who have failed.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a technical issue. You may not see it by may see it from their end. So yeah, raise it with the different lecturers that you have. Okay, any other issue?
I think for the issue of adding is on individual lecturer, because Sister Selina added all of us. I think so. It's on individual lecturer.
Okay, but basing on what we are studying now, I would like to know who decides a change in curriculum in Uganda. Who decides?
Okay, that and a lot of many other questions we shall answer by December. Are you answered?
Yes.
Yes. That is why you are enrolled in this class, so as to understand all the dynamics that are involved in curriculum development. So, before we go any further, what comes to mind when you think of curriculum? When you hear the word curriculum?
Personally, Decade of Gracious still.
Yes, please.
Personally, when I hear about curriculum, what comes into my mind is the content which is supposed to be taught to students, how it is supposed to be taught, and what is expected, or the outcome of it on the side of on both the students and the teachers' sides, what is required. That's what I can say. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Odeke.
Welcome.
And Odeke said he thinks of, could you repeat what he said? You think of the content and the outcomes, is it?
I said, I think of the content which is supposed to be taught to the students.
Okay.
Then the methods of delivery.
Okay.
Then the expected outcomes from that he has been delivered.
Okay.
And yes, majorly that is what I have in mind when I hear about curriculum.
Okay, thank you, Odeke.
You're welcome.
He thinks about the content to be delivered, the delivery methods, and the expected outcomes from the delivery of that content. I stand up, Samuel, I think.
For me, in addition to what he has also given, I define it as units comprising a course of study. It might be in schools, it can be in colleges or universities.
Units comprising a course of study.
Yes.
So there's a breakdown of the course program into different units, okay?
Yes.
Other views, curriculum. Each one has an idea. Even as you logged into this class, you are thinking,
Hello?
Yes, please.
I'm thinking that, yes, plus all what my colleagues have said, the content should be in line with the national goals.
Content in line with national goals. Thank you. Other views? Each one should share their impression, their view of what comes to your mind. You can express it in just a word. When I think of curriculum, then I think this, full stop. or a whole sentence if you want. You could describe. Father Lawrence? Okay, Esther?
Well,
Esther, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yes, Doctor. Good evening once again.
Good evening.
To me, curriculum, as you said, we can even use a single word.
Yes.
But in addition to what they have said, curriculum may also, what comes into my mind would also be a standardized style or method of teaching and assessment to learners.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Any other view?
Me, I'm saying that content that is given to the learners should be able to solve a societal problem within the given time or the stipulated time. The content should be able to solve the societal problem.
Okay. Content should be useful. Good. Others we've not heard yet from you. Father Caesar, Father Lawrence.
From the very word curriculum, I think of the course components. We may just be using different words to components in courses, what is to be taught at a particular.
Father, we are losing you. Okay, but I think I get the Father Lawrence. Thank you, Father Caesar.
Doctor, I think curriculum is subject matter of something that is to be studied at a given period of time. Thank you.
At a given period of time, I'll add that. What are you saying? That at certain periods of time, subject matter may not be the same?
Yes, it may change. It may change.
Thank you, Father. Another view. Two people have not said what they think. Angela? And Kevin?
My answer is that
Sorry?
someone else's, as this is
Speak closer to your device, please. I can't hear you.
I'm saying that my answer. Do you hear me now?
Yes. Oh, you're breaking.
That my answer is a bit similar to curriculum. Curriculum means the contents of a particular subject that will.
Could somebody repeat what Angela said?
She's talking about content developed to fit.
But I'm just saying.
I have
network
a challenge picking. Yeah, I have a challenge picking. As she said, it's Somebody was raising.
She was talking about a content developed to fit certain something. I did not hear that last word.
Okay, we shall
Doctor,
take that and hope that she can. Yes, Kevin?
I think curriculum, in my personal thinking comprises of the subjects. Hello?
Yes, please.
Comprises of the subjects that make up a course. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Deogracius? Deogracius, I seem to note you have just joined. Am I right?
No, I've been on, only that it could be network problem, but I've been on.
Okay, did you share with us your view?
It was the very first one.
Okay, someone has just joined, I think.
Yes, to my Deogracius, I've just joined. I was having difficulties with joining in, but at last I'm there.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So our first question was, when you hear or read the word curriculum, what comes to your mind? What do you think of? Curriculum is what? Go ahead.
For me, what comes to my mind is generally the content, what someone's supposed to cover within a given period of time.
Okay. In class, right?
Yeah, generally.
Okay. So thank you for your views regarding curriculum. We all have our own impressions of curriculum. And you notice the views differ. Some are kind of so specific, curriculum as a subject, okay? Others are a little broader, looks at content, which includes several subjects, perhaps even several courses. Someone said course content is for different courses, but divided up that way. Maybe this would be broader or more narrow than thinking of content. I don't know. Someone thinks of it as a style of teaching and assessment. Does this include content? I guess by implication, because you've got to have what to teach in order to teach. So this even seems broader, a broader perspective than what we have had before. Someone looks at it as units comprising a course of study. So the different units in the course of study are what they conceive as curriculum. Okay, Angela, yes, you are breaking. Angela says, sorry about the breaking. I meant to say that curriculum refers to content of a subject that will be taught and examined by a national body. Okay, so that's even more that when we talk of curriculum, then we are thinking of examinations, and there has to be some body, some agency responsible for that. Thank you, Angela. And I think Angela shows us an example when we cannot communicate verbally, then I think we have an alternative. We can also communicate through the chat and still keep sharing and exchanging our views. So we realize we have different perceptions. And other people add that subject matter broader, it's not limited to only particular subject, but it is that content, but at a given period of time. Then we are talking of a curriculum of a certain period of time, okay, and not other. Any other comments you'd like to make regarding these submissions we've made? What do you notice about our views? Any comments? Okay, I want to share with you other people's thoughts. And here we are looking at one particular source that kind of crystallizes the views we have given. This difference in views is not happening only in our class, but world over, there are different points of view regarding curriculum. It's thought of in many diverse ways, sometimes even confusing. But generally, there are two main strands of thought. One considered a kind of narrower view, and one a broader way of looking at curriculum. So the narrower view of looking at curriculum would consider curriculum as that set of subjects or the subject matter or the course content, kind of strictly that. While a broader view considers curriculum as all the learning activities that go on in a school. Are we together? And this broader view is what is thought to be the more comprehensive and inclusive way of thinking about curriculum. So when we talk about all the activities that go in a school, then we are thinking of the content, what is taught, how it is taught, how it is assessed. We are even thinking of why that choice of the content. And we are moving out of the classroom as well to think about activities going on outside the classroom. What kind of activities go on outside the classroom, which would be considered as the package forming the curriculum for that school or institution? Is my question clear?
Yes.
There is threatening heavy rain on my side. I'm not sure how far we shall go, but if we try to hurry up a little, we might cover up what I had planned. So if my question is, give me examples of activities that going on in a school, be a classroom, teaching and learning activities.
The co-curricular activities.
Co-curricular activities such as?
These days, the new curriculum, we are assessing the talent. Maybe someone is talented, maybe drama. So the new curriculum is now telling us to assess those learners according to the gifts they have.
Okay, Phoebe, could you speak on device? Activities such as?
Football.
Okay, that's better now.
Netball. And the new curriculum is telling us that beyond the class and we assess these learners and those talents that they do have.
Okay, so we have activities with the examples given. Okay.
The other one is field work, case studies, maybe visiting some farm. This helps the students to see in a physical way what they've been learning from class, other than just being in the.
We are moving out of the classroom with fieldwork as well. Another activity.
Another activity is assessment. Another activity is assessment.
What kind of
it can be end of termly assessment or classroom assessment. Yeah.
How is that done? We are thinking of activities outside the
classroom.
But which would consider as part of the curriculum of that school.
There is also a difference between co-curricular activity and extra curricular activities.
So examples of extracurricular activities?
For example, like debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that outside the class. Otherwise, you could have a debate within the classroom setting. But when you have debate clubs, is that what you are trying to get at?
Yeah, what I was meaning about clubs. For example, you can have ICT club, you can have debate club, you can have any other club, but so long as not within class, but within the school.
Okay, well, let's name other clubs. Mentions ICT. Any others?
I talked about Writers Club.
Okay.
The other one is news, call it News Club, the Reading Club.
Okay, other members, what kind of clubs do you know about or do you have in your?
Hello.
Caesar, yes.
Yes, I was at primary school. We used to have something called handwork, and it was out of class. Special day. Handwork, something.
Okay, for handwork.
You design with your own hand. Yes.
Okay, design some object with your own hand. Thank you. Else had begun. A hand. Doreen. Doreen.
It's called CSR, or it's called service learning, where students to communities.
What do they do exactly?
Where I used to stay house, they would that's more in a international school. So year 12 class it's like senior 5. The entire school nations entire year, but year 12 specifically goes out for 3 weeks for a remote area to build a school. So the kids, yes, they have different people, of course, especially encouraged to do different things, like actually make walls, put up floors, give back, teach kids. So they give back, they lower, they understand that they're not the only people in the world. There are different kinds of people in the country, your neighbor. So they give back to community in that way.
So the children's minds are broadened, appreciate more than would have been the case if they didn't participate in that. Thank you. Other members, what do you know about?
Doctor, it's Kevin.
Yes, please.
Interact Club.
Hello. Say more about that.
Interact.
What goes on there?
Interact forward to discover a different talents, basically with music. Basically, it was basically music.
Okay. Interact Club.
Yeah.
Any other? I see hands up. Doreen, are you still? Theodeke?
Thanks. There is also what is called charity club. This club, it is participants can sit down and agree on a need group of people. Take for example, if the school is hospital, they can agree to make a few contributions to visit in that hospital with some pieces of soap, and for children maybe things which children need, like I forget pampers, yes, pampers, some things that can make the sick feel appreciated and remember, and that's the practice what they've been learning from class. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Last club, not me.
Doctor?
Yes, please.
There is a thing outside school I learned. Sorry, again, mostly with international schools. Again, I would really ask you when we go those curriculums, how different they are. That's why I asked curriculum, because they are somehow completely different. But they had something called round square, where is allowed the world, this like student exchanges, because they do the same curriculum all over the world. So you still follow the curriculum, you learn new cultures, like the content of the curriculum is far beyond school setting and the country itself. It's called a round square system.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for sharing. And I wasn't really, yes, please.
I am just trying to tell you that there are some contributions.
Yes, thank you. From Doreen, we still have environment, we have chess club, and before that, Caesar in handwork club. I would go ahead to ask, what role do these clubs play? But we can already kind of imagine of each of those clubs mentioned, and a lot more that we haven't mentioned. Yes. At this point, like us to, okay, let's see how that goes. We take a pen and paper, take a pen and do this short exercise. We want our appreciation of what is meant by curriculum. And what we are doing here, we want to these definitions, beginning with the narrowest. In your view, what we've discussed, what do you consider to be best, going on to the broadest definition or under curriculum? Okay.
Pardon, Doctor.
Take a pen and paper and just write those numbers, getting which is the narrowest definition of curriculum and ending with the number that indicates the broadest definition of curriculum. So don't rewrite the sentences, just write the narrowest definition, then you begin with number 4, followed by 7, then 1, then 6, so on, up to the one you consider the broadest definition of curriculum. Am I clear? You have 5 minutes to do that.
Okay, Doctor.
Yeah. And we shall share your responses. Okay, we should be done now. Are we? Are we done?
For me, I'm done.
I am done too.
Okay. I guess we all are. Okay. Which would be the narrowest definition in your view? Can someone start us off?
For me, it's number one.
Why?
Because we look at all planning for a classroom, that one like talking about what you call lesson plan. Because when you're planning for the classroom, that's when lesson plan comes in. But when you're talking about curriculum, it's bigger than that.
Okay, what do others think?
Dr. Kevin.
Yes, please.
I also think it's number one because the classroom is the smallest unit under the school. So if all the planning is under the classroom, then there is a lot that is left out. So this is why I take it to be number one.
Okay. Another view?
Mine is number two.
Why?
Curriculum is that which is taught at school. When you look at that definition, not only that which is taught at school, but some other things outside. We talked of field work, we talked of handwork, we talked of things done outside school. That's what I can say about that. Thank you.
Okay. What do others think?
Doctor, I had number one as the least, but again, when I look at number four, it is just saying curriculum is a content. It leaves questions in someone's mind. What do you mean by content? Content can be anything, as if it's even not related to a school.
Okay. Other views?
Mine is number one. This is innocent. And when you look at number one, it is all yes planning. It is like you are still conceiving something and not yet realized. But when we relate with the number four, this can include what can be in class, directly dealing with the students or even outside. So personally, I take number one, for it is all in conceiving. It is still in the conception stage.
Okay. Esther?
Yes, doctor. Mine was number two. Reason being, curriculum is that which is taught at school. That means, to me, when I read it, it was like whether each school teaches a different thing, that is curriculum, which is not right to me.
We lost Esther. Maybe she'll come back. Other views? What does each one think? I want to hear what you think.
Hello.
Yes, please.
I want to relate number one and number four. When you're planning for a classroom, you go with a course content, which is number four here, a content to be taught in a classroom. So number one is competing with number 4.
Which is broader between 1 and 4?
I think 4 is broader. Because when you're looking at, you're talking about curriculum.
In their narrowness. But I think number 1 is more narrow compared to number 4.
Okay. Why? The other person, who was that? Someone had come in earlier.
No,
We didn't hear him to the end.
No, I was giving the view because what is in a curriculum is the content. So when someone says it's more broader than in terms of weak, it's weaker than the 1, I don't agree, because before you plan, you must have the content, the guiding document to guide you what you are going to plan within your classroom, the classroom environment, the lesson plans, and everything. So you must have that content to guide you to do that. So I still stick to number 1.
Okay. If we need content in order to plan, but the planning in number 1 is for the classroom, were we told how many classrooms? Are we together? Are we told it's strictly 1 classroom?
It is open. It's any class. It is open.
No, it's not any class. It is a particular class.
Supposing instead of the word "the" we had "a," would it make a difference?
Yes.
It makes a difference. Yeah.
A becomes a specific class.
No.
And the
single class.
And
that calls for all classes, any class of your choice.
Okay. So if planning is thought of not just as lesson planning, but several other activities. You are teaching senior 2, and you think between no, with that, with just that bit I chipped in, which would you think is broader between 1 and 4?
Pardon, Doctor?
I asked about the classroom and a classroom, and it was said there is a difference. So does that tip our judgment to a different direction, or is it the same?
To me, a classroom, then the classroom, then a classroom. To me, it is a singular.
Which one is singular? The one we have on the screen?
Both the one on the screen, A.
Okay,
Dr.
could someone, yes.
May
Go ahead.
I think the one we have on the screen, the classroom, it is an open statement. It might be any classroom. But when we say a classroom, then we are specific to a certain classroom.
And so, does that say anything about our comparison of 1 and 4?
Then I think when we say the classroom, 1 becomes a bit broader compared to 4.
Why? Why would 1 be broader than 4?
1 is broader than 4 because when you look at all planning for the classroom, meaning someone is planning for any class that he might be going to attend maybe at any time. But when we say is a content, then that content is specific to a certain class, not assuming all the classes that the person might be attending to.
Can I also give my view again?
Yes, please.
In most cases, a curriculum can be for all classes. It's only that you petition, this is maybe this is a particular class, senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, but the content can be for the whole classes. So for planning for the class, you can use that content in any particular for any particular class within that particular curriculum to get the content you want and use it in a particular class, but it can be within one. Thank you.
So to you, which is broader?
I still mention 4. 4 still is broader than the 1.
Okay.
Doctor, maybe my suggestion is, because it's talking about the content, but when you look on this curriculum, they always specify which content to be delivered to which class at a particular time. They already, like the syllabus will always tell you this content is for senior 2, first term 1. This content is for senior 2, term 2. So why do they specify that this content is for senior 3? I think it goes, there is a content for a particular class at a specific time.
Now, and so because of that?
So because of that, I take 1 to be broader.
Because what does all planning for the classroom mean?
You plan a particular content for a specific time and a specific class.
Okay, beyond looking at the issue of the scope, whether one class or several classes, let's look at it from a different perspective. When we talk about content, what comes to mind? We go back to our brainstorming we had at the beginning.
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Even me, I was team 1 as least, but when it comes to a plan by definition is strategic, and curriculum seems to be something strategic, something long term. So even though it is very specific to a classroom, it sounds bigger than just content. It sounds
Kevin.
Strategic.
Okay, Kevin, your hand is up.
I was giving in a view about content being broader than planning, which takes me to taking number 1, all planning as number 1, then content as number 2, because you can't have content before planning. You first plan to have content.
Getting more interesting. Can we have everybody share their views? What is going on in your mind as you quietly listen to these views that have gone on?
Doctor?
Yes, please.
What is going in my mind is that we are centering on 1 and 4. Does it mean 1 and 4 are the most, I can say, more correct or something of the sort?
Which do you want to propose as the first? Deogracius?
Yes, please.
Did you propose your first?
No, I am not the one who proposed that.
No, which is your first? Which would you consider as the first?
I considered 2.
2. You shared your view as 2. Yeah, we wanted to understand 1 and 4 a little more, and that's why we are dwelling on that. But I hope that it's just not for the sake of it. We hope that this is triggering of certain thoughts in our minds about that document that we have known as the curriculum, the one that carries the content that we teach in different, that is taught in different classes. So we are dwelling on this not just for the sake of it, but it's challenging us to think a little more deeply about some of these issues. A hand up, Samuel?
Yes, now, what is going on in my mind at the moment? Curriculum is a guiding document, because this is a document which guides each and every school, even colleges, even universities. For you to be able to start a course, you must have that guiding document. And that document must have a content, what you are going to teach. So when you are talking about content and the curriculum being a content and all planning for the classroom, I still stick a curriculum which has content is more bigger than planning, because you cannot plan for a classroom without that content, without that guiding document. Thank you.
Okay, that said, can we move on? Can we move on beyond 1 and 4? Deogracius proposed 2. Curriculum is that which is taught at school. Is that, say, the smallest?
Can I say something again on top of that?
Yes, yes.
Earlier on, we had discussed on some other things that we can do outside school or outside class, and we came to realize that there are quite a lot of things that can be done outside school, outside class, and that makes me think curriculum is that which is taught at school. It makes me think it is in a way more narrow, because we talked of quite a number of things, and even we talked of some other clubs and some things of the kind which help the learners to put into practice what they have been learning in class or at school. So that makes me really think that which is taught at school is so narrow. Thank you.
Given Deogracius's view, what would you say about number 3?
Is the question directed to me?
To the floor at large. You can go ahead if you have a response immediately.
Curriculum being a set of subjects and regulations. I'm not figuring out something out of it.
How does 3 compare with the 4? Which is broader?
I think 4 is broader since it's a content, and we say the curriculum goes beyond the subject. Sometimes they might do things that are beyond the subject, like co-curricular and extracurricular. And even the clubs, you might find those things that are not under subjects, but they are part of the curriculum.
So then which is broader?
Number 4.
Number 4, because 3 is limited to just a set of subjects and then regulations to follow.
Yes.
So what do you think about 3 compared to 1?
3 has limitations because for it is just looking to the set of subjects and the regulations, whereby we are looking at the curriculum as something beyond subjects and their regulations.
I think some people have gone to sleep. Are we all present?
We are
in
there.
mind, not just in body.
I'm present.
Yes, we are.
So given how narrow 3 is, how would that compare to 6?
Still, for me, the 6 being curriculum a sequence of courses, it's a bit broader than 3. 3 is a bit narrow because when you look at the curriculum, it's in stages. For you to finish a course, you must be able to go into stages. That's why they're talking about sequence of courses. For example, what you are doing now, you cannot bring a course into semester 2 into semester 1. You first understand this is what you are doing now before you go to the second stage. So I believe this 6 is a bit stronger than 3.
Broader.
Yes.
Doctor, this is Kevin.
Yes,
Hello.
please.
I think a set of subjects and regulations is broader, no, is narrower than a sequence of courses. Because subjects and regulations make up a course, in my own thinking.
Combination of subjects and
Yes.
regulations make up a course.
Yes. So
Okay.
I believe number 6 is broader than number 3.
Okay. Thank you. Other thoughts?
This is Dale Precious. In my view, I would also say that number 6 is broader than number 3, because number 3 is just talking about a set of subjects and regulations. In one or the other, that would mean that if I complete a given set of subjects and regulations, then I'm done. But that may not be the conclusion. That means there should be something following after those subjects. There should be some more. So for me, curriculum being a sequence, that means there should be more courses following one another. So 6 would be broader than 3. Thank you.
Thank you. And so which would be our starting point? Now that we've kind of explored the contentious points there, which do you think could be a starting point for us? Go ahead.
Kevin.
Yes. Yes.
My definition of curriculum has been number 1, which is all planning for the classroom. Then number 4, which is content. Then number 3, which is a set of subjects and regulations. Then number 6 as a sequence of courses. Then there. Can I go further?
Go on.
Pardon?
Can I
Go
go
ahead.
on?
Go ahead.
Yes. Number 2 is that which is taught at school as my next. Then number 7 as a set of performance objectives, and number 5 as my broader definition, broader view.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Other thoughts? Just one more person to share their view.
Doctor, this
Hello,
is Phoebe.
this is Caesar.
Yes, Phoebe.
Phoebe, I had the list to be number 4, followed by number 2, followed by number 1, followed by number 3, number 7, number 6, then number 5 being the best option.
Yeah, being the broadest.
Yes.
There was another view. Thank you, Phoebe. Phoebe, would you consider revising your chronological order?
Yes, I can do.
You say so much about number 3 in relation to
The set of subjects.
some of those numbers that now come after, not before number 3. Would you consider
Yes.
revising?
After the discussion, I consider now revising it a bit.
Yes. There was another, somebody was ready to share. Who was that? I'm opening it up for one more person. One person to share. Father Lawrence? I don't seem to see him.
I think he has gone off. He's the one who was speaking. Father Lawrence, or Innocent, something like that.
Father Innocent is here.
As if he was the one trying to give his opinion.
Oh, sorry. Maybe network issues. So one person, last person, and we close that chapter. What was your chronology? Father Caesar?
Yes, in the list, you get me? Hello.
Yes, you could even revise it before as you share, because we've had some discussion.
Okay, I have number 1. Topping up. Am I audible enough? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Number 4. Number 3. Number 7. Number 6. Number 2 and number 5.
Okay, thank you, everybody. What do you learn from this exercise we've had? Or what significance is it? We've dwelt on it for some time. Does it speak to you in any way?
Yeah, for me, it was interactive. It wasn't one way, right away from the lecturer, but it was interactive. Everyone was able to contribute on the topic.
Okay, so it achieved interaction. Any other benefit?
There was a bit of thinking beyond one's mind. where we had to hear everyone was thinking about something.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of critical thinking.
Yes, there was critical thinking. Then another thing,
Right.
there was also getting
Phoebe,
one
speak
who's
closer. Speak closer to your
opinion.
device.
We achieved the critical thinking. Then there was also listening to one's opinion towards something.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Any other
Kevin,
value of that time we spent?
Kevin,
Kevin?
yes.
Yes.
I've also achieved critical analysis, critical thinking and analysis.
Mm-hmm. Through kind of breaking apart some of those, unpacking some of those statements and then making the comparison.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other benefit to you?
Also, teamwork. Teamwork has been also achieved.
Okay, thank you.
I've learned that there is more than one way of understanding what curriculum is. It's not as straightforward as someone would think it is. So it's not really easy, first of all, to come up with one and for everyone to really understand what curriculum is. It's different views.
Thank you, Doreen.
I see it as a way of implementing what is currently needed. Much students' participation than that of the teacher. So in a way, we're on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you, Deogracious. Maybe a last one.
And then also it was basically learner-centered.
What do you mean by that?
Because you posed to the learners and they discussed and they gave their views, what they think about curriculum.
Okay. Oh, we have two Deogracious. There is Odeke and then Tumwine.
Yes, that's why when I'm contributing, I say Odeke.
Okay, now we shall draw the distinction that way. You will be Odeke and then the Tumwine will be Tumwine Deogracious. Could you share your thoughts? We dwelt on that exercise for long. Has it been of any use to you?
Yeah, to me, I've seen that we can have different perspectives, different ways of looking at the same thing. But all these perspectives bring about new ideas, the way we look at something, and then those ideas, if put together, can construct something new and something good that can take us ahead.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll just dwell on the last point. There are different, and as I said before, divergent views of curriculum. So when people talk about curriculum, you've got to really be very careful about what you are quick to say or judge, because people have different perceptions, perspective about curriculum. So it would call for a question. What exactly do you mean by curriculum? Are you referring to that book from the National Council of National Curriculum Development Center, NCDC? Or do you mean all the experience that a child has had under the guidance of a particular school? Are you referring to the set of subjects, a list of subjects? What is it you mean by curriculum? Okay. And so we'll be talking more about what this really means, how it should be understood, and therefore what the implications of that meaning are for the teacher. Okay. Any questions on that? Do we want to take a break?
No.
We continue.
No, we continue.
The energy levels are not yet too bad.
You'll see
Yeah,
there,
hi.
stay strong.
Okay. So while we have those two kind of extremes, two definitions of curriculum, the narrow definition as that content set of courses, and then the broader definition referring to the different experiences, activities that would go on in a school that kind of impact the individual, that shape the experience that the learner has got from that school. We want to understand a little more about what is meant by an educational curriculum. Yeah. People may talk about curriculum, all right. There is this curriculum here and there is the other one. But what is meant by an educational curriculum? What is it like, or what should it be like? And I'm referring here to one of your key texts, and that is by Victoria Kelly. And he defines a curriculum, an educational curriculum, as what we see there. Do you see my screen?
Yes, doctor, we are seeing it.
Yes. Kelly argues that we should not just have curriculum and go ahead to implement anything we call curriculum in the school. If we are providing educational service, we need to implement an educational curriculum. Am I clear on that? And to him, an educational curriculum, and we want to borrow from him. And this is what should inform all the curricula that we design and implement and evaluate. So to Kelly, an educational curriculum at all levels, whether ECD, early childhood development, primary school level, secondary school, tertiary education, an educational curriculum should be concerned to provide a liberating experience. A liberating experience, how? By focusing on aspects such as promotion of freedom and independence of thought, that in everything that is embedded in the curriculum, the ultimate should be that we promote freedom of thought. People are free to think the way that they can. They can explore their potential in terms of cognitive development to whatever degree possible. They should be able to pursue independent thinking and not be boxed in by our thoughts, that they come to think the way we think what we think. That would not be an educational curriculum in Kelly's terms. Yes, liberating experience by focusing on aspects such as social and political empowerment. How do we achieve social empowerment, you think? How do we achieve social empowerment? And then we shall move on to political empowerment.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes,
I believe
please.
to achieve that, it is through that freedom of speech, and when these people interact freely and when they find their belonging and identity in their way that they are free to express and then to belong wherever they are and then to feel accepted. That can be through that interaction. Thank you.
Father Innocent, could you speak closer to your device, please? I've kept missing your words.
Thank you. Now, I was saying that kind of social freedom or that empowerment can be attained through interaction, as one had mentioned of the Interact Club, that someone finds his belonging or her belonging and then identifies himself with it and then feels accepted through speech and that interaction, then someone can know that he can fit here and I can express myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's Father Innocent's view. Any other view regarding social empowerment? When we talk of social development, what do we mean?
Phoebe, I think we can create things that can bring people together according to what they would prefer or to their interests.
Okay, cater for different interests, different learning needs.
Yes, as you bring them to, according to their interests or learning needs, you find them getting associated. It's like when you create clubs in a school, you always find people joining clubs based on their areas of interests, and then you are trying to empower them socially.
Okay, thank you. Any other view regarding social empowerment, social development?
For me, I'm
How
going to
could this go ahead?
Social empowerment can be through one schools. Of course, when you're in school, there is that social interaction. Can be in a group discussion, can be teamwork, can bring that social interaction. Then the other one is church. Church also can bring that social kind of empowerment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. How about political empowerment?
Political empowerment through political parties. Because political parties have what we call the structure of leadership. So every time we come together, there is that part of interaction politically in terms of ideas. That's what we call ideologies. So through political parties, it can bring what we call political empowerment.
So how do you attain this in school, in schools or institutions?
In schools, we have, of course, there are subjects whereby we learn about that. But other than subjects like political education, history, and others, there's what we call leadership in schools. For example, high school, we have what we call head prefects. In universities, there's what we call good leadership. Even colleges, there's what we call good leadership. It can also bring what we call a political empowerment through leadership in schools and colleges and universities.
Okay, providing leadership opportunities.
Yes.
Thank you. Angela, your hand was up. Oh dear, we can barely get you. Could you type it in the chat, please? We can't hear you.
About leadership in school. Sorry.
We can barely hear Angela. Okay, Angela will type have you in the chat, hopefully. Okay, yes. Political empowerment by encouraging prefects, posts, yes. Creating leadership opportunities within the institution, in the student body. Any other view about political empowerment? When we talk politics, what is politics about?
This is Tumwine.
Yes, please.
I look at politics as a way of one expressing or showing his capabilities of leading others and how much someone can influence others into doing something. So even in schools, it would be the giving opportunity to the learners to show their capabilities in leading others, but also bringing about their ideas that can influence others in following a certain pattern. Of course, a pattern that will lead them to the right thing.
Thank you very much. And so how do we see that play out in schools? Beyond the prefect body, come down to lower levels. Do we have opportunities for students to do that?
Oh, yes, we do. We have,
what?
I will talk of, for instance, we have debates in schools. In debates, people can raise their idea, bring about their ideas. It's not only expressing how intelligent they are, but they raise their ideas, expressing their ideas about certain issues, and giving students opportunity to carry on certain activities, though not all of them may be in posts, but giving them opportunities to do something so that they can come up, then we can know their capabilities, how someone can do something that helps us to identify that this one can lead here, this one can do that.
Yeah, so politics has to do also with participation. And so when we create those opportunities for learners to participate, not necessarily in leadership, taking up leadership positions, but to participate even in class discussions, that is a form of empowerment we are fostering. I want us to say more about political empowerment in the classroom. Odeke?
Actually, my contribution was on the other part of how to give the learners opportunity. I don't know whether I can still contribute or that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am having a contribution that not only apart from leadership positions in class or at school, learners can also be given opportunity to volunteer. Take, for example, it is true a leader can lead others, but a leader might not be gifted in something. He might not be good at something. So when opportunity is given to volunteers, those who are capable can do it better. Thus, they will be extending what they can do better, and they will be learning more. And even those like the leaders, they will also be learning from those that are leading. And yet, if opportunity is given to only the leaders, they might be not in position to perform accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A last submission on learner participation and the form that participation can be. How could you organize them so that they are participating in classroom activity?
Yes, Doctor. Personally,
Yes, yes.
I think in a way through the conditioning to some extent and making it a little competitive by, of course, rewarding this and the other, especially those who might be underlooking themselves and feel like they have not contributed, and through like appreciating the little with their contribution, even if someone speaks, because you find that some students it's hard to speak out, especially when someone speaks out on something, and then with that conditioning, appreciating him, appreciating her, then I believe someone can be uplifted and then feels valuable, and through such a way, someone can gain some kind of conviction and feel, you can also speak and improve on my way of life or even expression. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Esther?
Yes, Doctor. Political empowerment, like as you said in class, for any student to submit an answer or contribution to anything asked, they are requested to put up their hands so that they can be chosen, and whoever is chosen is the one to speak. So if others intervene, then there will be a problem. So maybe that is also another way of political empowerment to the learners.
Okay, thank you. And now, beyond all that, we encourage to form groups and have learners work collaboratively in groups. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. That is one effective way of garnering this political empowerment, for lack of another word. I wanted to substitute. But bring up the aspect of participation, even leadership, and above all, decision making. Okay? They may not be leaders in the groups, as say group chairperson, and you have a secretary who will later present the work, but they could be very key in bringing up very good decisions in the group. So when we do that, then that is a very good way of trying to achieve the political empowerment. So why are we delving that much into this aspect? Because from the word go, I want you to be not just aware, to be mindful about some of these practices in class. And it is these kind of practices that you'd be evaluated upon, especially during your school practice. So when you have these practices on your fingertips, for instance, if you've been writing somewhere what we are contributing, then surely you should be able to carry out your school practice successfully. We'll go back to Kelly. I hope the screen, I'll read the chat. I had not looked at it. Somewhere about voting. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Yes, Father Lawrence, I have some network problems. I've missed some part, but trying to search where it's good. Okay. Success. Sorry, I had internet interference. That is Father Caesar. The internet issues are. Angela, political empowerment by encouraging prefect posts, yes. Letting the learners know they have a right to vote, yes. Then we could also have subject representatives, this is Doreen, and class representatives, good. Student councils, having a student academic assistant in class. All these are opportunities we create to enable political empowerment. We go on with Kelly's idea that we should provide a liberating experience by focusing on an aspect like respect of the freedom of others How do we respect freedom of others in an educational setting? I would leave this for you, food for thought. Respecting the freedom of others, accepting variety of opinion, and the enrichment of the life of every individual in that society. Enrichment of the life, and this is in different dimensions: economically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. And so I'll just take one of those strands. The economic empowerment would imply that this we are calling an educational curriculum should have a bearing on the economic lives of the learners, meaning the educational service you provide should cater to relevant skills, knowledge that are required to enable this individual can navigate through life economically. So if the knowledge and skills that the curriculum offers are outdated, not relevant to society today, then we are not helping this individual. We are not enriching their life economically, even if we do so in other circles, spiritually, cognitively, that's mentally. But as long as we are not doing it in a holistic manner, then we are not exactly offering an educational curriculum. And so the need in recent years to revise the national educational curriculum for lower secondary school level to try and adapt it to this definition of what an educational curriculum should be, at least in that area of economic benefit or the relevance of the skills to the economic life of the individual and of society. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So you did not take a break, and I will continue with what I have here. I'm sorry, my cursor just disappeared. This is strange.
I think it has just freezed.
Ah,
Yes,
so
freeze.
it should come back.
Just give it time.
Okay. So any comments that far? Any thoughts on any comments on Kelly's idea of what an educational, a truly educational curriculum should be? Any comments? Do you agree? Do you completely disregard his views? What do you think?
This is Caesar.
Yes, please.
This is Caesar. Okay. Yeah. In the view, there is freedom of thoughts. And I would wonder, in a society where each thought is considered, shall we be in a safe society? I think there should be somebody at the end of the day to regulate the thoughts. Because if you are to consider every thought, society will be in a problem.
Okay, thank you. That perhaps that freedom of thought should be regulated, to use Father Caesar's words, and not left completely open. That is Father's view. Any other thoughts? We had a lot of stuff there. Yes, go ahead.
Also, that freedom of must be regulated. That's why we have the guiding documents like curriculum, the constitutions to guide us exactly what you're supposed to do. When you go beyond that, then which means you are breaking the rules. So that freedom must be regulated. But on the other hand, I agree with the author of this write-up.
On what?
Curriculum being
You seem to have moved away from your device. I can barely.
Are you hearing me here now?
Yes, now you are clear.
Yeah, I was talking about providing what you call a liberation of experience by focusing on such things as promotion of freedom and the independence of thought. And this is what we always see. This is what we're even sharing here. Everyone is giving independent thought about curriculum. People are sharing about their ideas, what they think about curriculum. Even outside there, even our families, we give ideas and we have to respect socially, politically, it still applies. So for me, I agree with the author.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
To me, can you hear me?
Yes, you're clear.
To me, I agree with the author. Only that I would like to make some contribution on what is ongoing in the discussion. By saying that freedom and independence of thought, and by saying that political empowerment of respect for the freedom of others. Personally, I think the author is not saying that maybe the society members, community members, or the students are to be given that freedom to do what they want, to write the answers they excuse me, to write the answers they have in mind. But just as we are in a class now, people contribute. However, there is that regulation or regulating body. Like now, for example, in our class, there is Dr. Ann who is regulating. You have contributions, you make contributions. However, there is that regulating body. So I go with the author. However, it is not so much. It is not open as to that. Like you do what you want, you say what you want, then you do. You say, you think about what you want to write, and then you write. No, that's my contribution. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And at this point, we will hold those discussions, those views, and move on to something quickly. I want us to complete, and then okay. So we have a test here. I would like to ask you to just read through that test. And you can choose your part, your subject of interest. And I'll flash a second round of the same test. I'm not asking you to answer in written the questions, but read the questions. Have a feel of what the questions are.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yes, please.
The questions are not appearing on the screen.
Oh, really?
On my screen, I can't see. I can't see them.
I can't also see them.
All of us,
I
all of
can't
us.
also see them. They are not there.
Oh dear. And I thought I was, oh dear. Okay, let me try again. I thought it had. Hmm. Okay, there is where it begins. Last subject, biology.
Doctor,
Yes, please.
I wanted to inquire, I can only see questions with English, biology, what? What are we doing with it?
You're reading those questions.
We are reading in accordance to the subjects we are doing?
You are reading the questions. And then I said, after going through the first time, choose which area is of interest to you, whether English, math, history, geography, or biology. Okay? So I'm going through them a second time, and just take note of your questions mentally. Mentally. And see how you would answer those questions. And mark yourself. Say out of 100, what do you think you could score if you answered those questions? For the historians, geographers, that's your area. And you are to do this in, say, 30 minutes. Whichever area you chose, you are to answer those questions in 30 minutes. What would your score be? Okay. So for each of us, I want to take quick note. Tell me your area.
Can I please take that of English?
That is who? Kevin?
Kevin Zawedi.
Okay, Kevin. If you had to answer that in 30 minutes, what do you think would be your score?
I've not gotten the last questions of that part.
If you were to answer those questions in 30 minutes, what would you score?
Out of?
100.
Out of 100.
Mm.
I'll get an 80.
Did you look at your questions?
Yes, but I did not get well the last one.
Which area was that?
English now. English.
English, okay. Others, let me know your
Can I please get
area.
the last question of English, Doctor?
It's okay. We won't dwell on that much.
Okay.
Next.
Phoebe.
Phoebe, your honest.
Mathematics. Mathematics. All questions are okay. I can get a 90 something.
90 something. In 30 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Odeke.
Yes.
Geography. Can get 85.
85. Now, I want to change it. You have 5 minutes to answer this question. Kevin, what would you score?
I'll get a 70.
In 5 minutes?
Yes.
Phoebe, in 5 minutes?
Get a 50.
And Odeke, in 5 minutes?
I would get 75.
Okay. That was your area of specialization. Now, if you were to answer the whole set of all subjects, all questions, and you have 1 hour, what would you score? Kevin? All questions, 1 hour.
All questions of my area of
special. All these geography, biology, English.
I'll get a 50. Yes.
Okay, how about the rest of the class? Would you get 50 like Kevin, you think? Your honest views?
No.
What do you think you'd score, Phoebe?
Because all that subject, apart from my subject, all others might look a bit hard.
Father Innocent?
9 also. 9
Hello.
Father Innocent?
If personally, I would get like maybe 30 or 35, depending on all of these at limited time.
Yes, math, English, history, geography, biology. Okay. Angela, are you with us? Can you hear us? Angela? The most challenging network issues. Okay, go ahead. Father Caesar.
Would do categorically. Hello. Hello.
Please.
We can get you.
Am I there? Okay.
Yeah, now it's
I would
my network
categorically
that is
leave.
challenging. I can hear. Dear, we missed that.
I would
Okay, I think left
leave
there.
an areas unanswered.
Score, I think.
I think I would score like 25 to 30. Of course, I would only answer area I know.
What would you score, I think?
The area I know, I would score probably.
Together as a whole paper now.
As a whole paper, 30.
Yeah.
Because I would not answer
30.
some.
Okay. Remember, it is 30 minutes for Doreen, your hand is up.
I am using my life right now to have a question like, if you only teach one subject, then how do you expect us to understand all the other subjects? This sounds and feels like that if I'm a student and I've been different subjects, I would be able to answer them. But if I specialize one, I would not be able to answer and get a good mark for the rest of the subjects. So
Doreen,
if I've been told,
Doreen,
yes?
it is you sitting this exam now.
Right now, because
So
I've not been told.
Under those circumstances, what would you score?
A very low mark.
Which is?
Because apart from English and math, the rest, geography, all countries, even some countries I've just known they're in Africa. I would truly fail right now without preparation.
Yeah, we have to bear in mind the circumstances I'm describing. Okay. Others, we haven't heard from some members. What score would you get?
I think for me, I can reach 45 to 50. 45 to 50.
Okay. Others? In 30 minutes, Samuel?
I said you mentioned that in one hour. I had something like that.
Oh yeah, it was 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to write the history of Uganda? Samuel.
Yes. I can
write
try
Uganda.
I can try to write the history of Uganda.
1 hour plus how the kidneys and
I think in this
into
case,
the body,
because there are 5 subjects, I will only look at the key parts only. What you call an abstract. I just pick, if I'm writing, I write on an abstract. I don't write the detailed information.
And so you still think you'd score 50% with abstracts only for answers?
Now that depends on what the lecturer, teacher wants. If
we want full answers,
then it's not possible. It's not.
Okay. One last view before we move on.
This is to Moine.
Yes.
I think I would get like 25 or 30.
In 1 hour?
Yeah, in 1 hour, given all those subjects and their width, the way the questions are, I wouldn't go much.
You'd be able to score 50?
No.
Meaning you'd have answered correct. Did you say 50 or 30?
I talked of 25 or 30.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
30. So you'd have got a third of what was required. Okay. That seems to me even so high, given the circumstances. For all questions, I would get around 25%. That's Angela, Melissa. Thank you, Angela. Why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing it up in relation to? What does this have to do with curriculum? And that is my so what question. A background about this is that Hodeke, you are being so specific. You can even put it to that mark around 28 to 30. Okay. These were the kind of questions set for exams in the early 20th century, up to mid 20th century, in exams in Uganda under the so-called Cambridge exam. So students had to sit that exam under tight conditions, very limited time, but also requiring a lot of mental work. It was really challenging mentally. And what does this say? Today, we have a different set of exams, and it's not one paper we do combining different subjects like that. And even the form of the questions varies, may not necessarily be the way that those were. So I'm saying here, and to learn can and will always change. And that is what Father Lawrence, I think, somebody had brought up this idea in defining the curriculum, saying the curriculum changes. Yet, while this is the case that curriculum changes, it is that we also want to retain some level of basic and shared cultural knowledge. There is knowledge we treasure and think, oh, this should be passed on from generation to generation. Other generations should know this or should be able to calculate these numbers because they have this use value. They lead to certain ends, desired ends. I hope you get my point, that the curriculum will change. But at the same time, we want to retain certain aspects of curriculum, certain kind of knowledge. So what does this mean? That there will always be tension in schools and in society about how much emphasis should be given to different subjects and even different topics. Are we all in agreement today about what the new curriculum, new lower secondary school curriculum holds? I'm asking the class. Are we saying, oh, this is the long-awaited and perfect curriculum?
Maybe I might
Is that
say
everybody's view, Phoebe?
it's better, but I wouldn't say it is the perfect based on some things that are happening in schools.
In terms of the coverage?
Not really in terms of coverage, but you might find that it is calling for some resources whereby some schools don't have them. You find you need computers, to integrate the ICT. Some schools don't have computers. You might find almost going back to the old curriculum.
Okay. So even if the content outlined in the curriculum in terms of the subjects and the topics seem appealing, the implementation is a challenge.
Yes, implementation is still a big challenge.
Okay, thank you, Phoebe. Any other views? Do we consider the curriculum as the ideal? As I said, the long-awaited, answering all our questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Personally, I would like to say that the curriculum itself is good, but there are limitations. Why am I saying there are limitations? The manpower which is there is not enough, and if at all it is there, it is not well equipped. Recently, my brother came home with a report of senior 1. Then he had not performed well. I asked him, why is your performance so low? He said one teacher is teaching 5 subjects and is taking majorly sciences, physics, chemistry, math, and is teaching those subjects alone. And besides that, the content delivered is not that so enriching. So curriculum itself is good, but the way it was prepared, there was no proper planning. Like before it would be implemented, it would be ensured that there is enough manpower. Teachers have been trained fully on how to implement it. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Odeke. When we look at the content, the subject matter in the curriculum, what think about the subjects in terms of biology, ICT, not ICT is a cross-cutting issue. Okay, but there are language, mathematics, cross-cutting. Did I mention math, literature, geography? Those are clear-cut subjects. Then we have cross-cutting issues. Which are the cross-cutting issues we have in the new lower secondary school syllabus, curriculum? Cross-cutting issues, give me an example. Do you teach in secondary school? Some of you do. Do you use the new lower secondary school curriculum?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, we use it. Now,
yes, so what cross-cutting issues are pointed out in that curriculum?
We have the ICT integration is crossing all the subjects.
Okay, others?
Also, we have what we call it has that a problem solving because each subject you must that's what we call a project. So a child must do a project, and this is in each and every subject. Then also brings out what we call environmental awareness.
Those are cross-cutting issues, yes?
Yes, then there's what we call life skill. At the end of senior 4, at least a child must have what we call a life skill for survival. That when I leave senior 4, I can go out there and survive on the school I got from school.
Okay, so those are 3 skills now mentioned. 3 cross-cutting issues: ICT, we have the clear-cut subjects, we have cross-cutting issues, we have life skills as such, and we have values in the new lower secondary school curriculum. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
I want us to name each of those, give examples under each category. Under the teaching subjects, can you name them?
We have math. Hello.
Yes, please.
The teaching subjects, we have mathematics, we have English, biology, physics, chemistry, history and political education, geography, entrepreneurship skills, physical education. Hope I've not left any, but still we have what we call.
Go ahead.
I was saying that we have those ones that are comparison at senior 1 and senior 2. So far, what I've mentioned, but when
that's
it comes to
okay. We know it narrows down when they go higher because they have to choose certain subjects to make a given number. And my interest is, what are the values that we should instill in the learners as we teach? They're indicated in each of those documents for each subject in the taught in the lower secondary school curriculum. Who has not got a chance to read the lower secondary school curriculum in even one subject? By show of hands, you have never read, looked through that document. Kevin, Doreen, Esther, Angela. Someone's not sure, I think. The hand keeps going. Odeke, is your hand up or not?
My hand is up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the first assignment that I'm giving the whole class, not only those who claim they have never read through this. So everybody go and look at the curriculum in any one subject for the lower secondary school curriculum in Uganda. Is there someone teaching primary school? No, you wouldn't be primary school teacher when you do.
Doctor,
So,
for this,
yes.
This is for when you look at all those the lower secondary curriculum, those values are the same. Whether they are teaching English, mathematics, biology, the values are the same. They don't change.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have the pages at the kind of preliminary pages, which indicate what is new in this curriculum as different from the previous. And so they'll point out the values introduced in this curriculum, the skills, the cross-cutting issues that are attended to, and then they'll dwell on the subject, the specific subject that you have. I will also share a document that is not specific to any one subject, but explores the new curriculum as it is. It also has these key elements in it. So that in the next class, we should come with a clear idea of what the new curriculum contains. Just by looking at it, it is these subjects and these values it promotes, and these cross-cutting issues it addresses, and these skills that it endeavors to equip the learner with. Is that assignment clear? And now I lost my train
Yes,
of
it
thought.
is.
Yeah. And how do you get that? You Google. Google National Curriculum Development Center, Uganda. Don't leave it open. You might go to Thailand or Yemen. Uganda National Curriculum Development Center. And then you'll be taken to the home page, and from there you can select. You want the curriculum for lower secondary school. Then pick on any subject from what is offered, and you'll get a clue. I can send you this document, which I said is cross-cutting in a sense, not limited to a particular subject. Why did we go there? I had just said there is always tension in schools and in society about how much emphasis should be given to different subjects and topics. Today, some people think certain areas are not covered adequately in the new lower secondary school curriculum. Others think there's too much detail. Kids don't need to know all that. Instead, they needed to have a feel or a taste of other topical areas or other subjects that are not included in this curriculum. And that is the tension that I mean there. And so in conclusion, I'm saying there is a challenge when you think of how to balance the competing goals and values in transmitting our cultural heritage, that knowledge we treasure, alongside preparing children for an unknown future, as well as in keeping the curriculum from becoming obsolete. So you want to keep certain information you treasure. But then you also don't want a situation where the curriculum becomes outdated. So how do you achieve that balance? The same curriculum must also equip children with what they need: knowledge, skills, proper dispositions to navigate through the future. So I'm saying it is not easy to attain that balance. Forgive me, my screen just runs anywhere now. Okay, we should be closing down. What I'm saying as I conclude today's lecture is that when we think of curriculum, there are different perspectives. Some look at curriculum as a product, that written list of something, whether subjects, whether courses, it is a product. Some look at it as a program, something laid down, combining many courses for different levels of education, and so that becomes a program. Others think of it as entailing capturing intended learning outcomes, that those are clearly stated, what the learner must achieve after a given, attending a given set of courses, And so, yeah, that forms the curriculum to them. The content is included together with what the learner must, the expected learning outcomes. While others think more broadly of curriculum as all the experiences that the learner goes through, sponsored by the educational institution. It may be within the school, it may be outside the school. Like we had examples of learners intentionally being taken out of the school, whether on fieldwork or even to other countries, but as a planned activity of the school. We haven't talked about experiences such as peer groups and what learners learn from each other, both negative and positive. We haven't talked about the schedule for the day, the timetables for the day in each school, and what the timetables embrace. There are different activities apart from co-curricular activities. You have interludes like times for mass or prayer, depending on the faith that the school embraces, and so much more. All these have a bearing, have an influence on the learner in the short term and in the long term. So what my diagram here portrays is, you've seen on one end, on my left, there is an arrow pointing from concrete down to abstract. That when we think of curriculum, some people think of it as that concrete thing. Think of it in concrete terms, that product, that book I can touch, the curriculum developed by the National Curriculum Development Center. But as we move down this list to curriculum as experiences of the learner, then we are thinking of curriculum more in abstract terms, that anything that the school exposes the learner to is part of their curriculum. And then they reserve the book or that list or that concrete document to be one of the elements, one of the components of what they consider the curriculum. On the other hand, are we still connected, by the way? I might be talking to myself.
We are on, we are on.
Okay, and I'm winding up. On the other hand, on the other extreme, I have school-centered, and it goes down to learner-centered. So what I'm saying is that the first consideration, thinking of curriculum as that product, that document, is more set by the school, okay? It addresses the interests of the school, that there's that program and they must run that program to achieve certain goals. But as you move down these four conceptualizations of curriculum, and we move to the lowest, curriculum as experiences of the learner, the lowest is the most learner-centered, while the topmost is the most school-centered, okay? So the question would be, what would we want to guide our learning that we offer to the learner? Is it a more school-centered or learner-centered plan? That is for your further reflection, okay? When we look at that test and we think of our ability to answer those questions today, Even if we had sat in a history class, a math class, some 5, 10, 20, for me, I don't know how many years ago. It may even happen that people with masters, PhDs would not pass that exam, even if the pass mark was set at 50. Okay. And so we then begin to think about that kind of exam. And so the kind of questions it would raise are what we would consider as curriculum questions. For instance, what do we want the children to learn? Should the skills and information we teach change over time, or should it be static? If so, if it should change, how much should it change? But also, who decides what change? I think this is what Doreen was bringing up. Another question, how should we teach? Should we teach just rote learning so that students memorize what we are teaching? Or should it be learning in order to transfer skills and knowledge that are situations? Those are the kind of questions that curriculum raises. We have entered in the next class. Oh, thank you. Okay. So we'll end here. Oh, it's many minutes since. Thank you for attending. Next time we are meeting at 2:30 and we'll end strictly at 5. Bye.